Business activity amendment is one of the most frequent corporate transactions in the UAE. This actually includes adding new business activities to the license, replacing some activities with new ones, or simply removing those activities which are no longer required by the company. The need for business activity amendment usually arises when your company starts growing and you want to offer additional services to your clients. When you decided to change what you would be offering to clients as a company, or when you bought a company from someone and you need to change all activities completely. Because what previous company did and what you plan to do is completely different. Additionally, there is a number of other examples when business activity change may be required. In this chapter, we will look at various examples, discuss the process of business activity amendment, go through requirements for such changes, and estimate the cost of amendment transactions. Before you decide to amend business activities on your company's license, you must do relevant homework, and we will explain now why. But before we do so, we recommend that you revisit our chapter on business activities in Module 1, where we explain how business activities are usually combined on one license. The homework you would need to do will be the actual communication with your registration authority. You will need to inquire as to how many activities are allowed on the license in general, in which cases those can be added for free, and whether activities you plan to introduce can be combined with the existing ones. Additionally, some business activities require a high share capital, and you might need to deposit additional funds into your corporate bank account, should there be such requirements for the specific business activity you might have interest in. Also, some activities require from you to have an office of certain size. This may also mean that if you rented before a flexi-desk facility, you'll have to find and rent a physical office space, let's say for instance not less than 30 square meters. Finally, some activities require NOC from respective government authorities. Once you clarify all these aspects, you can proceed with the administrative side of the matter. And the first step would be to submit application with the relevant registration authority. If you want to replace or add to consulting and service activities other service or consulting business activities, you will be submitting application for changing activities. However, if activities listed previously related to trade and now you want to provide consulting services instead, you will have to submit application for changing license type. Both transactions will be associated with different fees. Usually, if you are the only owner and director of the company, at the time of submitting application, you need to prepare the following documents. Complete sign and stamp application form. Draft letter request to registration authority to amend business activities of the company. Most registration authorities do not require it. And return company's license and sometimes articles of incorporation and MOA, Memorandum of Association for amendment, unless part of corporate documents had been issued in soft copies. Should you own the company jointly with a partner or partners of yours, you will also have to draft, execute and submit a resolution requesting for the desired changes. All requests for amendments submitted to registration authorities are accompanied by payment of relevant administrative charges. The amount of such administrative charges varies from one registration authority to another. In general, you would pay anywhere between 1.5 to 3.5 thousand dirhams for changes to business activities. However, as we already discussed it, in case activities you wish to add are from a completely different group, you might need to pay additional fees associated with that, which can be as low as 1,100 dirhams and as much as the cost of additional license. Obtaining an NOC for some specific activities is also associated with payment of the fees. Therefore, remember to do your homework properly before you initiate any changes. In terms of the time frame, amendment of business activity can take as little as 2 days only and as long as 1 month. The latter would be the case when you need to rent a physical office space and obtain NOC from a government authority. In light of this, you should also plan all this accordingly. In this chapter, we also wanted to share with you some tips. and we hope you will find this information of help. As we already mentioned it, each registration authority determines its policy with respect to a allowed number of activities independently. For instance, Kuwait Free Trade Zone allows you to have any of 2 activities from consulting group with no additional fee. Fujairah Creative City, FCC for short, frequently runs various promotions when you can opt for up to any 3 activities of your license with no additional charge. Shams in Sharjah offers you much broader activities. Dubai Free Zone and Dubai Economic Department most of the time allow a certain number of activities from the same group on one license with no additional charges. As such, if you are engaged in providing services and you are looking for a greater flexibility in terms of combining activities from completely different groups, say IT consultancy, business consultancy, and video production, you can easily do so in Fujairah Creative City Free Zone. Also, in Fujairah Creative City, activity change can be completed at no charge at the time of company renewal. As you can see, there is almost always a solution to a problem, and it is just a matter of good research. After you complete business activity amendment, you will receive an updated original company's license, along with your articles of incorporation or memorandum, which you should not forget to show to your bank. We hope this chapter helped you to gain understanding of business activity amendment process. Now you will prepare a list of questions you would ask registration authority representative before submitting application, and you will plan the budget for such amendment accordingly. We on our part invite you to continue learning and waiting to see you in our next chapter.